All right, Brian, well, let's start. News coming out yesterday, Gonzalo Pineda was let go by Atlanta United. Your reaction to that news first?
Sad, disappointed, some of those types of emotions. But look, Gonzo's a great coach. I mean, he did a good job for us here when he was here, deservedly got that opportunity. What happened there I can't comment on because I wasn't there day to day, but I know he's going to be a successful head coach.
And then it goes everybody wondering if it's possible he could find a home back here.
I've got a great staff too. Freddie, Brecky, Andy, Tommy. I've got a good staff. There's no room right now. If somebody moves on, if somebody gets another job and Gonzo doesn't have a job yet, which I think is unrealistic, of course. But yeah, he's gonna get another job somewhere here, either in MLS or somewhere else. He's too good of a coach to go very long without a job.
When you've been a friend with somebody for so long and you were, he called you his mentor so many times, and, either fans or people around the business just consider him maybe someone who would take over this team for some way at some time. How does that make you feel? How do you think about that?
Well, look, the guys that worked underneath me are with me even in Zig's time. Ezra, Gonzo, Jimmy. I'm missing some. Darren Sawatsky, who was under me in the USL days, done a great job in Richmond. I mean, there's a lot of people that have been associated with the club and myself that have gone on to successful soccer careers in different ways, different things. Kurt Schmitz now doing a great job for RSL and the Western Conference leaders. Chris Henderson and I came on at the same time, but he's knocked it out of the park. There's a lot of good stories there. So, whatever happens with the future of the club, my future, Gonzo's future, anybody's future, I mean, that's all pro sports.
We saw Leo out here. Can you get an update on him as well as
Available
Pedro?
for Sporting.
And Pedro?
Still day to day.
So with Pedro, how would you explain what's going on with him? Is it a new injury? Is it a fitness? How would you term his whole
I'm terming it as day to day because we're trying to get him up to speed and it hasn't happened yet. I'm trying to help as much as I can, but I'm not going to push the kid. Okay, again, I said it the other day, I'll repeat it. If it was a playoff situation or something, I might push a little harder, but he is a long-term investment. And I'm just not going to push it, and that's the statement as of now. If things change, I'll let you guys know. If there's any serious setbacks or anything like that, I'll let you guys know. But right now, I'm taking it very cautiously.
So is it fair to say that you just prepare with the team you have, and if at some point Pedro's able to get in, then that's just a plus to your team?
That's a bonus.
Reed had, even though it didn't technically count, he had a great play there at the end of the game. Yeah. He had some other kind of bright moments in that game. How would you describe his progress and his? You said that you think he's a starter at some point. How close is he to being a fully, a complete part of the team as it is now? If that makes sense.
As soon as they declare him 90 minutes fit. He's still back in his return to play protocol.
Okay.
So there will be a time limit on him, but obviously knew who's gone. So Cody Baker, Reed, those guys will have to, man up. And that's it. And as Reed can continue to stay healthy, I think he's got all the tools to be a good MLS player. And maybe more, depends on his career. But that's up to him.
Is his sharpness back to how would
Not
you
quite.
how would you term
Okay,
that?
at the end of last year, before he got the original injury, he was in a good run of form. I mean, the kid was playing well, and that was serious competition. Him and Nuhu. He's not quite there yet, but he's close. He's getting closer.
We've kind of talked about this in the past, but how concerning is it, and how can you fix when this far in the season, kind of repetitive mistakes happen, like holding on to a lead or certain things coming out of the back? Is that something that, is the messaging not getting through the players? Like, how can you attack that in a different way so it changes?
Well, we've done all sorts of things in training throughout my time here. There's different ways of doing it. You can show film, you can talk to guys, group film with defenders, messaging, training exercises like, we have 11v11, okay? Team A versus Team B. Team A, you're up 1-0, there's 5 minutes to go in a game. And you let that 5 minutes run out. Then you flip the script. And then Team B is winning 1-0, 5 minutes to go. So you're working on both groups when they're down a goal, and you're working with both groups when they're up a goal. So we've done that numerous occasions. Those are still the things that we try and, help the players have the right tools to be successful.
JP said that he and his family went to California for a couple of days. Do you feel like the couple of days off helped the guys mentally?
Helped me. It should have helped them because their training's been pretty good the last couple of days.
In what ways did it help you?
Well, just a little bit of rest, relaxation. One nice glass of bread.
Going back to your concepts and your style of play, you've said consistently that this is a possession-based team. It seemed like in the last game, some of the best moments, and even the game before that, have come in more direct moments, maybe where you were a little bit more willing to just push the ball. Is that, would you agree with that? And then is that something that maybe the team has to do a little bit more of, is finding more balance on when to be a little bit more direct?
Well, direct is a vague term in some ways, because direct could be teams like New York Red Bull that just kick the ball down the field and press. We're not like that. Are we a possession-based team? Yes, but that doesn't mean that we are not good in transition. That Jordan Morris can, Christian, Obed can't get up and down the field. Some of our transition moments when we press higher up the field effectively, those are all things that we want to do. It's each game's a little different. Home versus away, opponent, their style versus our style, personnel. There's things that alter that subtly, but you always want to try and keep the ball as often as you can. But you're never going to say no if there's a direct path to goal.
Sporting Kansas City comes into this game on a 7-game losing streak, 10 winless. How do you... Actually, a similar situation to what you guys were in, they were in the last time you guys played them.
Yeah, and I think we threw them a lifeline.
Right, and so I guess how do you use that last game as sort of an object lesson? Do you how do you approach this game?
Look, Pete's a good coach. He bailed himself out last year. He's capable of doing the same thing. So it's a dangerous opponent. It's at home. We know look, we know what it's like to try and win on the road in MLS. We're going to try and do the same things we've done in Philly, in St. Louis. I mean, we'll try and, maybe be a little bit more direct, keep possession when we can, grit, determination, clean sheets, all of that stuff, because we'll need it.
When it comes to Raul Ruidiaz and how he's kind of played this season, where he drops a lot back, maybe allows those wingers to kind of push behind him, is that something that you feel like it's working, or maybe something that needs to be adjusted in where he's maybe pushing a little, receiving the ball a little bit higher up the field?
I need him in front of the goal. Because I don't mind if he drops deep, if the ball's in our half of the field. But when we establish possession in the opponent's half of the field, I don't want him to drop next to JP or Obed or Albert. I need him in front of the goal.
And is that something where maybe he's chasing the ball too far back and needs to trust his teammates a little more? How do you adapt it? How do you...
Raul's a smart player. He just, wants the ball. Sometimes when players don't touch the ball for extended periods of time, they move into positions that maybe they shouldn't. But, that's not a big issue.
We were talking to Joao about his sort of adaptation, how his game has sort of changed this year. He's, being asked to do, I guess, slightly different things the last couple seasons. How would you assess his performance this year? And is he the same? I don't know. Is he the same player that he was?
Yeah, I don't know what he means by adapt. I mean, the team has shifted certainly in his time here, different iterations, but I still expect him to, be a ball winner, establish good possession, lead by example, lead with his voice. In the locker room, he's a good guy. I mean, I'm not so sure I've asked him to do too many different things. The tactics are a little subtly different, but
Well, it wasn't so much that what he was being asked to do as much as what he's feel like he's able. Like he's just he was talking about recovering from his injuries and sort of this stretch of a lot of games and whatnot.
yeah. Well, luckily Josh is coming back, so we'll have some help for him. We'll rotate those three in midfield. Danny Leva can step in there too if needed. We have the Open Cup game. We still have a stretch of games coming up that's busy. Houston midweek. I mean, yeah, we're going to need everybody.
JP did allude a little bit to maybe not being given the green light so much to get forward as much as he maybe did in the past, or maybe not being able to get forward as much as he would like to.
Well, maybe that's just because of who he's paired with. I mean, look, Josh can run all day. Obed is good in the attacking moments. So, in that sense, I agree with him. Maybe we want him to be a little steadier.
When you look at the league and you look at where your team is at in points and the schedule that's coming up for this team, is there any sort of like real worriness to where you're at, or what's your assessment of where you're at this moment in time with this team?
It's not good enough. There's my practical answer. We'll get better, but it's not good enough.